Approximately 2 weeks ago in Grand Rapids, Michigan, a young 20 something year old black man, and I do say black, and I have no reservations about saying black because that's how law enforcement and that's not how the judicial system refers to people like us. Black. They don't call us Negro. They don't call us something back from the slavery days. Not openly anyway, anymore, not too much. They refer to us as blacks. So I'm going to say black. I'm not going to hold back. But anyway, there was a young black man in his early 20s pulled over in Grand Rapids, Michigan by Officer Christopher Shore. And he was killed by Officer Christopher Shore. I did a video several days ago about this. And it was a traffic stop. Allegedly something was going on with the license plate not matching the vehicle or the registration. And he was querying the young black man, and the black man happened to be from Africa. And he asked him did he understand what he was saying to him and so forth. And so after a few seconds, or several seconds, after the young man got out of the vehicle, his name was Patrick, and he began to run. Lyoya was his name, last name. He began to run, and the officer pursued him and tried to tase him. Patrick at some point grabbed the taser, and the officer was telling him to let go of the taser. And that act in and of itself has been construed by some as to mean that the guy, the so-called perpetrator, or the so-called assailant, or the so-called suspect, was trying to take the taser so that he could potentially use it on Officer Shore. I don't believe that. That's one. Now, as the encounter ensued, the officer ended up on top of Patrick, and he was behind him, and he shot Patrick in the head. I'm calling him by his first name. He shot him in the back of his head, sort of gangster style, if you will. Now, what infuriates me, disturbs me, and I made this plain many times before. I have police officer friends, and I said friends, and I mean that genuinely. I have police officer friends on the force and retired. So there's no bias in what I'm saying as it relates to police officers. There are bad police officers. There are. We know that historically. That cannot be refuted, especially over the past decade, and all of the black men who have been killed unjustifiably by rogue cops or maltrained cops or prejudiced racist cops even. And I'm not painting with a broad brush. All police officers are like this. In the beginning I'm saying this. So now, what bothered me was several comments sided with the police officer by making statements such as, here we go with the black thing again. Why does it have to be about black? And why are we propagandizing this again? And if a cop tells you to stay in the car, you're supposed to stay in the car. You're supposed to follow a police officer's orders. You shouldn't run, and the officer deserves a medal, for doing his duty and stuff like this. Okay, I wonder who's making these statements. These people who you never see their faces, you never see really an avatar, but they just blindly in the dark, in the secret corners of wherever they are, making these statements. They never make themselves known. But anyway, first of all, on the taser, and I asked someone this today: if someone was trying to tase you, anyone, police officer or other, when you try to stop from being tased, it doesn't mean that you're trying to use the taser that the person who's wielding it or has it on them. It means I don't like the way that feels, so I'm going to stop. Our natural instinct is to leave or run away from pain. Yes, Patrick did run. What about I'm just trying to get away and I don't want to be arrested? And if you tase me and you're up close on me, I'm going to grab the thing that you're trying to use against me and stop you from using it. Doesn't mean that I'm going to use it on you. I mean, after all, I did run because I didn't want to be apprehended. It's really that simple. So my question is, why did the police officer even chase the man over a traffic incident in the first place? That was unwarranted. You didn't have to chase him. If he ran, let him run. The car is still sitting there. The other individual is, if there was no other individual, I'm thinking about another video. We'll get to that one later. But anyway, the vehicle is still sitting there. Go ahead and do your procedure, whatever that is. But you don't have to chase a man over a traffic stop. You don't. And someone might say, well, you're not a police officer. What the heck does that have to do with anything? I know what I see with my eyes. I saw a man executed over a traffic stop. Again. Unnecessarily so. He's not coming back. So to try to jump on the side of this particular police officer and say, hey, so to try to side with this police officer and say that, his life was threatened. Not at all. Again, a taser is to subdue. Now, could it potentially have been used on the police officer? Why in the world is he chasing a man at a traffic stop in the first place? He has the superior weapon. He has the service weapon. Why couldn't he just wait it out, call for backup if he didn't already do that, and just waited for backup? Find out, scour the area. Was it too time consuming? But now we have a dead young black man, again, by the hand of some Michigan police officer. And he's on paid administrative leave again, which is the typical thing. It's the normal routine. It's the normal procedure. Why? He murdered somebody who's not going home to his family anymore. That's not right. It's not ethical. It's not righteous. It's criminal. Not on Patrick's behalf. It's criminal on the behalf of the police officer. Because you shouldn't have to take someone's life, I don't care who it is, black, white, yellow, otherwise, over a traffic stop. Now, should policing be modified? Should policing be revamped? How long has the police industry and or departments been in existence? How much modification is there? How much retraining can you do? You don't have it down by now? You're carrying a gun. You don't have it down by now when you can take the life of another human being who has not posed a threat to you over a license plate or a registration? Make that sound right. You can't make it sound right. The police officer goes home to his family, but Patrick doesn't anymore. But we're going to dress it up. We're going to do the damage control. We're going to make the police officer seem right on a traffic stop. You see what I'm saying? It's sad. And someone said, well, why does it have to be about black? Well, it was a black man involved again. Do I need to list all of or most of all of the black men and women that have been shot and killed by the police over the past decade for you to get this message, to get it across to you that something's wrong with our policing, and it's been wrong since day one. Stop the violence against black people.